Good morning and thank you for joining us here on this Friday on Up with KREM. I'm Tim Pham. We also want to welcome you in if you're streaming us on KREM 2+. Let's start things off on this Friday by helping you prepare for the day ahead. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick here with us to get you a first look at your forecast. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Tim, and happy Friday to you. One day closer to the weekend here, but the weekend is going to be a bit on the colder side. Certainly our coldest weather of the winter so far, which isn't saying much, but it is going to be noticeable, especially at these hours of the morning. 23 degrees is a bit colder than yesterday. I'm more focused in on this, a 6-mile-per-hour wind, and you're probably thinking, well, that's not that strong, is it? Well, when temperatures are this cold, it adds up fast. So you factor in the wind, and our wind chill, aka the feels like temperature, makes it so that it feels like it's 16 degrees currently in Spokane. Yes, even with a 6-mile-per-hour wind.
Here's a live look at the traffic impact this morning. We're taking a look at the I-90 and Maple Street area right at the start of downtown Spokane. You can see traffic is moving nice and smoothly. It is very cold out this morning. You are probably going to need to scrape your windshield if you park your vehicle outside. So give yourself just a few extra minutes so you are not in a rush. On Up with KREM, we bring you weather and traffic together every 30 minutes. New in the last 20 minutes, Israel's security cabinet voted to approve a ceasefire and hostage deal after a brief setback yesterday. This is the first of 2 votes Israelis will take to ratify the plan.
After more than 400 days of struggle, a day of success.
Under the first 6-week phase of the agreement, the fighting would stop. During that time, 33 hostages would be released in exchange for nearly 1,000 Palestinian prisoners. The ceasefire deal also includes plans to surge humanitarian assistance into Gaza as world leaders push both sides to get to a permanent end to the 15-month-long war. The deal now moves on to a vote in the full Israeli cabinet. The deal is expected to take effect early next week. In our ongoing Boomtown series, we track growth in the inland Northwest. The city of Hayden is now charging developers more for new builds in the city to help with its growth. Earlier this week, Hayden City Council voted unanimously to approve the impact fee increase. This impact fee is money the city charges developers for new builds within city limits. Our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press found out under the adopted fee, developers will see a 5% increase. Council President Matthew Roeder questioned why more is not being done.
We're faced with, we have a real problem with congestion we have for a long time, is how are we going to fix it? And we just keep kicking the can down the road.
The city's public works director says impact fees are, quote, designed to pay for projects associated with growth. A Hayden resident expressed similar concerns during public comment.
If you don't build it, they won't come. Why will people come here if there's no infrastructure for them, if there's no room for them?
City officials say the impact fees will help fund fixes to parks and transportation. The new fee took effect on Wednesday, meaning any new building permit application will include the higher impact fees. This morning, a Spokane woman will spend 8.5 years in prison for helping kill her daughter's ex-boyfriend. Yesterday, Brenda Cross learned her fate. Last year, Cross and her fiancé, John Eisenman, both admitted to killing the 19-year-old victim and then leaving his body in the trunk of their car for a year. At the time, they claimed the boyfriend sold their daughter into a sex trafficking organization, although that has now been disproven in court. Yesterday, the judge handed down the maximum sentence for a manslaughter charge of 8.5 years. The victim's mother spoke in court.
His suffering and crying out to die haunts me. This is my life sentence. Every night, I beg God, please let me go to sleep quickly.
Cross will also serve an additional 3 years of community custody upon release and must follow up with mental health treatment. She spoke in court during her sentencing.
I would also like to give my deepest and most sincere apologies to the family and friends involved. I have laid awake nearly every night thinking about all the lives that have been, I'm so sorry, that are still affected by the choice I have made.
John Eisenman was supposed to be in court with Cross yesterday, but because of a scheduling problem, he's expected back in court next Thursday, January 23rd. Less than a week after opening its doors, a downtown medical respite facility for people experiencing homelessness is facing backlash. There are questions about its location and the transparency about how it opened. A letter sent to Lewis and Clark High School families this week appears to show the school and district were somewhat surprised by the facility's opening. The principal says they are working to meet with Empire Health Foundation, which is responsible for starting up all the city's new scattered shelters. The letter says they want to know more about the center and potential impacts on students and find a time for families to weigh in. The district declined to talk to us until that closed-door meeting happens. Empire's president, Zeke Smith, says he did notify the district and neighborhood council about 2 weeks before the site opened.
The reality is, if the engagement with stakeholders is largely going to be stakeholders that just don't want to see shelters, there's not a lot of value in having that kind of engagement. It's not really engagement at that point, it's just about notification.
It is important to note this site is not a shelter in the typical sense. Anyone who goes there is referred by Providence for continued health care.
6:07 as we take you outside of this chilly morning here following what was our coldest day so far this winter. High of 29 yesterday with the cloud cover meant that it just never got warm during any part of the day. Obviously different story to the south where the sunshine did make an appearance and the cold front never fully made it through. So it was still 47 yesterday in Pullman and 51 in Lewiston in comparison to just the upper 20s here in Spokane. But the colder weather is starting to settle into most of the country. And by Monday, it actually overtakes most of the U.S., including us here in the Northwest, though we won't have as severe of a cold as other areas to the east. So coming up, we'll detail just how our temperatures react to this Arctic air mass nearby. We'll show you that forecast coming up.